Hi everyone! Unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties and the beginning of this class was not recorded. We apologize for the inconvenience. Luckily, we were able to capture the bulk of this amazing AdvocateHub class on rewards and recognition. Two Rockstar admins will be joining us today. Elin Boman from InsightSquared and Katherine from Staples will be sharing their secret sauce for rewarding and recognizing special advocates. First, Elin will share her tips on creating personalized rewards, timing your perks, and giving back through rewards. Then Katherine will share her stories on how she tailors rewards to her advocates' personas and how she empowers advocates through rewards. We will then go into some Q&A. Unfortunately, Elin's first slide didn't get recorded, so I'm going to speak to her first slide on her behalf. In the InsightSquared Hub, they really focus on creating personalized rewards. So to do this, they really use groups to their advantage. Knowing their advocates, their hobbies, their likes, their dislikes is very important to create these groups. So for example, in InsightSquared's Hub, they have soccer fans versus football fans and dog lovers versus cat lovers. So InsightSquared uses these groups to their advantage and creates unique rewards and challenges based on these groups. So for example, they have a lot of dog lovers in their Hub and in their office. So they created a challenge showing their advocates a view into their dog-friendly office and asked advocates if they had a favorite dog in their life. So this is an awesome and easy way to pinpoint what matters to advocates that can be later used to create more meaningful rewards. So I'm now going to pass it off to Elin, who's going to continue with the InsightSquared's presentation on rewards and recognition.
We have advocates from across the nation, and so it's just being mindful about not only what's outside your door, but what's outside theirs. So that may mean observing local trends. So what's going on in the news? Is there is the Pope coming to town, or is the President going to be in town, or is there a huge parade, or what is going on in a certain area? Identifying pain points. Is there a huge storm, or has there been a significant loss in a certain area? Is there a drought going on in California? And this doesn't have to necessarily apply to pain points with the product, but pain points that every single one of us feels in our daily life. We often ask our advocates if they are having pain points within their job, and what's their biggest struggle. So anything there that we can identify, we really try and seek those out. And lastly, we try and recognize above and beyond acts. So if someone really, really going above and beyond to answer our messages really quickly whenever we ask them to act as a reference for us? Are they jumping at the opportunity to submit a review about us and writing really in-depth, true-to-form responses, and are they really thinking them through? And when we see those actions, we absolutely go above and beyond to recognize them and to reward them. So the coffee cup that you see here is actually from a specific, I guess it's a kind of a combo of a local trend and a pain point, where last winter when we're located in Boston, and I think everyone was aware that Boston had one of the worst winters in our record, and a lot of people were feeling the pain, and it was just really tough to get through. And so we actually shot out a challenge and said, hey, we get it. It really stinks outside. We're all feeling it. It's been hard to get ourselves into the office. We've been stuck in our homes for days. What can we do to cheer you up? How about a cup of hot chocolate on us? Here's a $5 Starbucks gift card. And it was just something that wasn't crazy overdone, and it wasn't for any particular reason otherwise. It was just to say, hey, we get it, we're here for you, and we feel your pain wherever you are. So little acts like that really do go a long way, and it just means being mindful of not only what's going on around you, but around your advocates as well. And lastly, we really focus on, or this is kind of a new initiative for us actually, we really focus on giving back, and we're really gearing up with this. So we in a recent shift, we're focusing more on community on charity rewards versus points rewards. And so we actually recently sent out a poll to our advocates, and we said, hey, if you had the chance to donate your points to charity or complete certain challenges that the points for those challenges would specifically go to charities, would you be interested in participating in those? And if you did, would you want to pick your charity? Would you want it to be picked for you? And we really got a sense of their feelings about giving back to the greater good. We got some really great responses, and so our first initiative, as you see on the right here, this is in relation to our holiday season now, and we said it's the season of giving. We're in need of getting some referrals on the books. So how about instead of giving a mass amount of points as we usually do for some great referrals, how about instead we donate to a charity in your name, and you get to pick that charity, and we'll hold a competition. And the more referrals we get, the bigger the prize is. And we've gotten some really great responses so far. So what we're focusing on is not only for this specifically, we're doing more individual donations, and that will be with a larger prize. But we're also looking into doing larger community donations as well. So yeah, that's what I have. Just a few pieces of how we really try and uniquely reward our advocates. And Cassie, I'll hand it back to you.
Thanks, Elin. That was awesome. So I just want to remind everyone that if you have any questions during the presentation, just feel free to post them in the chat or the community. We also took some questions from the community that you had posted for the challenge, and we'll be answering those at the end as well. So I'm now going to hand it over to Katherine from Staples Insiders Network, and she's going to share some of her tips and tricks.
Hi everyone, I'm Katherine Collins, and I am a field marketing project manager with Staples Advantage. And just as a little background before I get started, for those of you that don't know, Staples Advantage is the business-to-business side of the Staples retail world. So our advocates are individuals that work within companies who are our customers. So the Staples Advantage Insiders Network, that's the name of our hub, is designed around 4 separate sites that are based on 4 different personas. So those are based on the advocate's job role, the products they purchase, and their industry. We've done this so that they get a customized experience for each persona. So when they log into the site, they see challenges that are specific to them and that are relative to their job role or their industry or what type of things they purchase from us. We also have customized their community boards so that they can network with one another who have similar roles as themselves or within similar industries. We also have a community board for everyone, but we have the 4 separate ones broken out so that they can kind of network on a little bit of a closer level. We also have customized rewards based on these personas so that the rewards are relevant to their likes and kind of their personalities based on what we know about their job role. So for our rewards and recognition, like I mentioned, we tailor our rewards to the persona so that they're relative and we kind of know that it makes sense to that person and it's something that they would like and that would be relative to their job role. We also have done something that trying to get advocates engaged and making them feel empowered and that their opinion matters. We launched a challenge letting them pick what some of their rewards would be. So we started this in October, and the one you see on the screen is the one that we did for November. So the challenge goes out, and it lets the advocates vote on 3 different rewards, and they get to pick their vote and then write a sentence or 2 to tell the other advocates why they think this reward should win. And then at the end of the month, we tally up all the votes, and then we announce it at the beginning of the next month. And this has been very popular. We've had great levels of engagement with these challenges and then also with the redemption of these rewards. So it gives us an opportunity to let the advocates know that we hear them, their opinion matters, and then also reward them with something that's personal and meaningful to them. We've also done various polls and community threads asking for feedback along the way, saying, what do you like about our rewards? What do you not like? What would you like to see more of, et cetera. So we constantly do a pulse check with them to make sure that our rewards are relevant and that they're things of interest to them. So another thing that we have done to kind of empower our advocates and let them feel like they have a say is some of the community threads that they started recently have been very interesting, and there's been a lot of feedback and conversation around certain topics. And we were able to take these comments from the advocates and pass them along to our marketing communications team, and they were able to develop a blog article based off of these comments. And so this was a nice way to go back to them and say thank you, for your feedback, and thank you for your activity on the Insiders Network. And because of your insights and information, we were able to produce this blog article. So that's another way of letting them know we hear you, we see what you're saying. And then to touch on a little bit of the personalization with the site, when the rewards are redeemed and we fulfill them, we always add a personal message to let them know their reward is on their way and thank them for their activity, so that they know, there is a human behind the screen with the admin, and that we are hearing them, and that we appreciate their activity and the insights and the feedback that they're giving us with completing these challenges. And we also have updated our reward catalog around the giving season to include a couple of different charities, and we have been surprised at how many people have actually, even with the December reward of the month out, have actually chosen to use their points for donations to charities. So Cassie, I think that wraps up mine, and I'll pass it back to you.
Thank you so much, Katherine. I think we all learned from both you and Elin how to really empower advocates in the rewarding process. So now we're going to move into some Q&A. We've chose some questions from the community. I'm going to check back during the Q&A session to see if anything new is posted. And again, feel free to post some more into the chat. Elin and Katherine, feel free to either of you jump in if you feel comfortable with the question, and we'll keep moving. Okay. So the first question, how often do you add or refresh your rewards catalog? How long should I keep the same basic rewards in the catalog?
I'm happy to jump. Oh, go ahead, Elin.
Okay, I was going to say it's sort of twofold here, because if we order a stock of a certain reward, we kind of wait until we run out of stock of that, so that we're not, we're being cost effective with the rewards. But we try to refresh them and add new things every couple of months. I think some things that are very popular we've kept out there a little bit longer because we see that it's constantly being redeemed. But for some of the other rewards, we've kind of swapped out new things every couple of months. Hope that answers the question.
And from my end on that, we actually do a quarterly sweep of our rewards. If we're just seeing that they're not being redeemed all that much, that they may be a little bit outdated or less popular. Maybe it was the item of the season, or maybe it was a seasonal item. We certainly swap those out. As it goes for Tango cards, those are kind of constants for us. And then we poll our advocates on a semi-regular basis to see if there's anything new that they really want on their list. And we respond to that. But typically we go quarter by quarter with updates.
Awesome. Okay. Are there any what are the most popular and unique rewards and badges that you featured in your respective hubs?
I'll jump in because we just had a new one that just came out that I think is really unique. With the Staples Center affiliation with our company, we were able to offer tickets to LA Clippers games and then a Justin Bieber concert. So obviously these were higher value rewards, but those were two very unique, I think, rewards that we just posted on our site.
For us, it's a little bit smaller. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, and then popular, I think probably most easy, those gift cards are always popular.
I would actually agree with that. The Tango cards are always a popular option for us. And I think really the most popular or unique rewards that we've featured in our hub have really been sourced from getting to know our individuals. So, for instance, we had one of our advocates who had a baby, and we threw in a bunch of rewards that were specific to him and him alone that were reacted to really well. Another advocate of ours got engaged, and we put some items in the hub for her. So just sprinkling in rewards that are really special for specific people, those always are well received. But definitely gift cards are top of our list.
Okay. Are there any ideas on rewards that aren't gift cards?
I know we both talked about charities, so that's something we have as donation to charities. We also have a variety of swag items with our company name on them. I know that's sometimes difficult for people. And then we also have tickets to conferences or events that we know our advocates typically attend with their companies. So that's been another one. And then a LinkedIn profile upgrade. So again, those are kind of business related, but those are, and I know they're higher items, but those are some of the options we've done aside from gift cards.
I think I'll be echoing that statement as well. I think that what we've talked about, the charities, we've definitely started integrating more of those, and really just personalized gifts. Any items that are hot on the market. I mean, we put in the Apple Watch when it first was released because we actually had a rare instance where our head of marketing ordered some extra, and so we had some surprisingly on hand, and we said, what a better opportunity than to throw these in here when they're they're hard to get from the store right now. So items like that are really on trend or seasonal, but also, again, I mean, you can't beat unique rewards that you hear of just by communicating with your advocates.
Okay, what are good rewards for international clients? There aren't many Tango card options, and shipping can get expensive.
So, Elin, I may have to bounce this one to you because we have counterparts in other countries, so our advocates are just based in the U.S.
Gotcha. This was actually a tough one for me to answer. So for us, we've struggled with this as well. We do have some customers that are in hard to reach locations. So quite honestly, if there aren't Tango card options, we try and go for smaller rewards. We go for branded swag. Is always well received. Our biggest hiccup right now is one of our advocates in Germany. We actually at InsightSquared, we're big beer nerds, and so one of our big wins is you can redeem your points for a kegerator. And how could we expect that our advocate in Germany would redeem his points for a kegerator? But that's exactly what happened, and we're still struggling right now to try and figure out the best way to get it to him, simply because there are so many limitations with us buying with an American card and shipping to a German address. So I think that that's a battle for a lot of us, but the best advice I can stick to is, even with challenges that we have predetermined rewards for, we're just really open with communication with our advocates and say, hey, we would so love to get you a Starbucks gift card, but we don't see many of those in South Africa, and we're so sorry that you can't enjoy this reward, but sit tight and we'll get something to you as soon as possible. And that's where the kind of surprise and delight element comes in, where maybe we can get something bigger out to them, or if we have someone fly out for a conference and one of our customer success team members goes out for training or whatnot, that's when we will be able to reward them in person, which makes the experience all that much better as well.
Okay, we'll also put some answers in the community after the class, so maybe we can circle back to that one as well. Next one, what would be the best kind of reward for referral challenges?
So, Elin, I don't know if you want to jump in. Ours, they get the point for completing the challenge, and obviously we have them in stages based on if their referral is valid and then whether it turns into a customer. But they get the points for it, and then they can redeem it for the reward of their choice. I'm not sure if I'm answering the question correctly.
Ours is set up the same way. So, we have bigger rewards in our hub that you really can, unless the advocates are really, going above and beyond, and we're perking them with points. They really can't reach certain rewards and the points that you need to redeem them unless they refer somebody. So we have those rewards that we kind of anticipate people will need more points to obtain, and therefore it would be completing a referral challenge all the way through. So that's what happened in an instance for the kegerator. We also have a dinner for 10 of your coworkers and our CEO, Fred Schilmover. That's one of our awards that we kind of set with the idea of them completing a referral challenge. We set that with that in mind. And we also have, similar to what Katherine said, we do have rewards that are related to tickets for conferences and more work-related items. So yeah, those are just some of the ideas.
Awesome. Okay. It's also a good opportunity during to put in a challenge. You can put, instead of points, say if you completed 3 referrals or 4 referrals, then you'll get this reward, and not put in the reward section, but in the challenge itself. We do that sometimes in VIP, and that's a good option too. Next, we're going to work on questions about fulfillment. How do you handle fulfillment, internally or through a fulfillment company?
So this is actually kind of one of our pain points. It's very time consuming, but we handle the fulfillment internally with help from one of our fulfillment centers. So it's a timely process. I'm the main one that has to go about placing the orders for the items and getting them shipped out and whatnot.
For us, it's a similar process. We handle fulfilling them internally, and that means that my time is taken running to FedEx or making those orders or whatnot. So that's our process right now, but we're actually looking into other systems, including Swag IQ and others, to assist with some of that fulfillment.
Oh, wait, and how much time does it take for you to ship a reward after it's been requested?
So for us, it varies depending on the reward. Obviously, Tango is automatic. We have some gift cards that I can do e-gift cards, so I try to do those within 24 hours of redemption. We do have some personalized rewards, so those obviously take a little bit longer for personalization. But I would say from the time it's been requested to the time it ships, personalization obviously being longer, on average all other rewards we ship them out within 3 or 4 days.
Similar timeline for us. We try, depending on where they are, we try and have the reward reach them within a week to a week and a half. And we're very, very open with all of our advocates as items ship to let them know, where it is in the shipping process. And, as much as we want it to be a surprise, we also want to make sure that we're both staying aware of the shipping process, simply because we all know that there's screw-ups, and we've experienced some mess-ups with FedEx and other carriers. So we just try and keep open communication, and sometimes the timeline isn't met necessarily, but so long as you keep an open line of communication with your advocate, I think that that's the best way possible. Yeah.
Okay. Now, perking. What kind of challenges do you use to send a perk to an advocate?
So perking is something we have not actually spent a lot of time on yet. So I know, Elin, you've mentioned this. I'll pass it back to you.
Sure. So we actually love to perk at InsightSquared, and I talked about going, when advocates go above and beyond. While we do give points for them completing challenges, for instance, I guess what I'm trying to say is we give points, but we want to make sure that they're also just being surprised once something is delivered. So as an example, we had one of our advocates recently, we reached out and we said, hey, we really are looking for quotes on our website. We're doing a complete reshift. We're combing over. We'd love to have a quote from you featured on our website. Can you give us a few words, or we'll set something up for you and get your stamp of approval? He responded back. He was awesome, and we rewarded him with points. And once the website went live, that's when we took the opportunity to thank him with a perk. And so we sent him, branded swag, and basically gave him 2 of our beer steins. Again, going back to the beer theme, we have branded beer steins, and we sent 2 of those to him with a bottle opener, and we said, cheers, our new site just went live. We couldn't have done it without you. So instances like that are really great. I also mentioned earlier that we had an advocate who had a newborn, and so we kind of lived that with him, which was amazing. And so not only did we update his hub with specific rewards that he could redeem, he was also so active and so wonderful with giving us updates and giving us that preview into his life that we went out of our way and we actually got branded baby onesies. And so we sent him a branded InsightSquared onesie for his newborn, and he sent back adorable pictures, and it worked so perfectly, and he had given us so much that it just seemed like the right moment to recognize how wonderful he'd been to us.
Okay, so how often do you perk an advocate, or what is the best practice when it comes to perking?
I'll jump back in here. So I guess we don't really have a timeline of when we perk advocates. I guess our best practices really, we set certain challenges with lower bars for the points received, only because we don't necessarily know what the outcome could be. So if it might be a review or a testimonial that they give, while we want to definitely reward them for their time that they're putting in, if for instance them acting as a reference on a call brings a sale over the line and closes that deal, we absolutely see that as the best possible opportunity to perk them in the biggest way we can. So, those are definitely great instances to perk your advocates. I think the other times that we perk them are, like I was saying earlier, just having, being aware of what's going on in their neighborhood, or not their neighborhood, but their region and in their lives. And just being mindful of local trends, for instance, the weather and how miserable a winter can be for them. Those are other instances where, it may not be that they did something specific, but just as a friend to a friend, those are fitting instances for us to reward them. I think that also it's just it's other above and beyond asks, or simply if we have certain advocates who are going out of their way to really react in a very timely fashion and are excited about participating and giving back to us as advocates, we really try and perk them as best as possible. But I don't think that there's necessarily a strict guideline of how often we perk them, or even a best practice. It's just kind of knowing that moment of when they kind of deserve a little something extra for everything that they've given.
Awesome. And we have one more question before we're going to circle back to the chat. We're a little over time, and it's just about challenges. What does your challenge plan doc look like? I'm trying to come up with the most efficient way to schedule challenges well in advance and make it easy for employees to have input in challenges based on what their pipeline looks like.
So we have a working document that we add challenges to. As I mentioned, we have 4 different sites within our hub, so it's a little more complex because some challenges are just specific to certain personas. But we have this working document that has the type of challenge, what persona it's specific to, and then what date we want it to go live. And we try to build that out a couple of weeks in advance based on submissions we've gotten from peers and things that come up that need to get bumped in front of others. But we try to keep that as somewhat of a guideline to make sure that we have enough fresh and interesting material to keep the site engaging for our advocates.
We have a similar system as well. We try and keep a running calendar of our challenges to get a little bit ahead of the timeline, but we also we consistently keep that eye out for what's in the news, what's timely. So while some of our challenges may not seem all that timely or are kind of evergreen, other challenges of ours may have to do with a meeting that we just had in the office, or something that just went on in the Boston community or whatnot. So it kind of ebbs and flows with being a well-structured document to just going with what's happening in the moment and letting our advocates feel what we're feeling as well.
Okay, and we have 2 questions in the chat room. Do you have any customers who are crazy about swag?
I will say that aside from gift cards, our Staples Advantage swag is the next most popular redeemed reward. We have like 6 different items out there that we consider our Staples Advantage swag, and then we have some sports team swag out there as well, and that falls right behind our company swag. So yes, I would say it's very popular.
I also would say, obviously the gift cards are a huge advantage to have in the AdvocateHub, and those are definitely the most redeemed rewards. But some of our other items are certainly just as popular, and I think that our branded swag is actually our personalized swag. We've really tailored and are proud of. So we promote those a lot, and those have been definitely well received and redeemed a lot. We also just have some more generic but work-related items. We have from smaller items to from the Everskin moleskin notebook. That's been very well received for us. As well as we're big in the athletic community as well, so we promote items like fitness trackers and whatnot, and those are a huge hit as well, and we did that around the Boston Marathon and got a lot of redemptions. So again, all really timely, but yeah, a lot of our customers love the other items aside from our gift cards.
Okay, and Katherine, I think this question's for you. You mentioned the LinkedIn profile upgrade as a reward. Do you have any recommendations on how to fulfill that reward? And is there a specific company you work with to make that happen? What's the value for that?
So with this one, you can partner with the advocate to see how best to make that happen and to make sure that it gets done the correct way. And then you can work with LinkedIn to make that happen as well. And then for the value, I know everyone probably values things a little bit differently, but for us, that one was valued around $500.
Okay. Awesome. I want to thank everyone so much for joining us today in our AdvocateHub class. And I want to give a special thanks to Elin and Katherine for joining us today and sharing all your insight and all your experience and your best practice with all of us today. We're going to continue the conversation in the community. If you have any other questions, feel free to speak to us there. And I'm also going to put the recording up soon.